Welcome back to CBS This Morning. Here are three things that you should know this morning. President Trump says he's having a great time in China after visiting the Forbidden City in Beijing. He and the First Lady watched a performance by young opera students. President Trump is scheduled to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping several times over his two-day visit. The North Korean nuclear crisis and trade will top the agenda.
Lawmakers are pushing for new legislation after the Air Force failed to report the Texas gunman's domestic violence conviction. Republican Senator Jeff Flake and Democratic Senator Martin Heinrich say their proposed bill will close a background check loophole. The bill would prevent those convicted of domestic violence from buying guns and require all federal and state authorities to report convictions to the national database. Those convictions have gone unreported by the military because it does not have a defined domestic violence charge in its code.
And Twitter is giving users twice the room to share their thoughts. The social media platform is ending its 140-character limit and giving almost everyone around the world 280 characters. But people tweeting in Chinese, Japanese, and Korean still have the original limit.
It's nice you have the option. There are three things you should know this morning. President Trump said tougher gun laws would not have stopped that Texas mass shooting. He was asked overnight about extreme vetting for gun purchases at a news conference in South Korea.
There would have been no difference 3 days ago, and you might not have had that very brave person who happened to have a gun or a rifle in his truck go out and shoot him and hit him and neutralize him. And I can only say this, if he didn't have a gun, instead of having 26 dead, he would have had hundreds more dead.
Well, we don't necessarily know that. The president's softened response was a sharp contrast to his push for quick action. Immediately after the deadly truck attack in New York City, hours after that rampage, you may recall, Mr. Trump asked Congress to repeal the program that allowed the suspect to come to the U.S.
Voters are choosing new governors this morning in New Jersey and Virginia. The races could provide clues about the political mood across the country. Republican Governor Chris Christie's second term is coming to an end in New Jersey. Republican Lieutenant Governor Kim Codogno is the underdog in the race against Democrat Phil Murphy. The Virginia race will test President Trump's clout. He is backing Republican Ed Gillespie. Gillespie is in a close race with Democratic Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam.
And a record number of people signed up for Obamacare in the first few days of open enrollment. The Hill reports more than 200,000 people picked a plan for 2018 on the first day. That compares to around 100,000 people last year. On November 1st, more than 1 million people visited healthcare.gov. In 2016, that number was around 750,000.
Welcome back to CBS This Morning. Here are three things you should know this morning. Neighbors reported hearing gunfire coming from the direction of the home of the alleged gunman in the Texas church shooting just days before the attack. One neighbor described hearing what sounded like automatic weapon fire from near Devin Patrick Kelly's house. Another said they heard gunfire coming from across the street, but couldn't be sure if it was from that property.
President Trump ordered American flags to fly at half-staff to honor those killed in Sutherland Springs. The president issued the proclamation late yesterday. Here's a look at the White House this morning. Public buildings and military posts should fly the flag at half-staff through sunset on Thursday.
And President Trump's five-nation tour through Asia features some potentially controversial meetings. The president said he expects that he'll meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He also said he will, quote, want Putin's help to deal with the North Korean nuclear crisis. The president will also meet with Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte. He is accused of supporting the extrajudicial killings of drug suspects in the Philippines.
Welcome back to CBS This Morning. Here are three things that you should know this morning. We're following developments in the deadly truck attack. Investigators worked through the night to learn what led Saifulo Saipov to plow into pedestrians and bicyclists on a bike path. Police overnight shut down a roughly 2-mile stretch of highway. Authorities also converged on a New Jersey home and a van parked at a Home Depot store. The suspect came to the U.S. on a green card from Uzbekistan.
President Trump pledged federal government help and called the attack cowardly. The president said in a statement that his administration would, quote, provide its full support to the New York City Police Department, including through a joint investigation with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He also thanked first responders who stopped the suspect and rendered immediate aid.
And New York Governor Andrew Cuomo increased security across the state after the attack. The new measures focus on airports, bridges, tunnels, and mass transit. Governor Cuomo said additional security will also be deployed in high-density areas and at large public gatherings.
It's primed, it's ready to go. It can burn at any moment.
Huge flames, temperatures through the roof.
A deadly heat wave grips the Southwest.
The searing heat fueling massive wildfires across several western states.
Hundreds of people have been ordered from their homes with voluntary evacuations for many others.
I got my kids, my grandma, everybody in the cars.
It's devastating. It's unbelievable.
Donald Trump fires his controversial campaign manager.
So Corey Lewandowski, he's out. What happened?
He's a good man. We've had great success. But I think it's time now for a different kind of a campaign. We're going to go a little bit of a different route.
We have seen in Orlando another terrible terrorist attack. It brings to the fore once again gun control.
People on the terrorist watch list being able to purchase a weapon, as well as possibly tighter background checks, could pass this time.
In the wake of Orlando and back-to-back votes, the Senate rejected 4 new gun control measures.
We couldn't even agree to prevent known and suspected terrorists from buying guns.
Police are investigating the death of Star Trek actor Anton Yelchin.
The SUV involved was actually being recalled.
A bounce house left a child's birthday party early in Western New York.
Oh my God, the bounce house!
All that?
I'm about to retire. I'm not quite as young as you.
When you're in sports, they say you're old at 30.
For a baseball player, you were old, man. I mean, let's face it. I mean, come on, man. We saw you trying to run around those bases.
And all that matters.
Donald Trump this morning fired his controversial campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski.
Apparently, Trump asked Meatloaf, who would you fire? And Meatloaf said that guy, and that was that. He was out.
On CBS This Morning.
Big congratulations to the new NBA champions. The Cleveland Cavaliers. What a great moment for the city of Cleveland, right? LeBron returns home to give his city the title.
It was an inspiring Cinderella story if Cinderella had first betrayed her family by taking her talents to South Beach.
Get out. Don't wait for an order. Get out now.
I've already been to 3 gas stations that are out of gas.
Hurricane Matthew marches towards the U.S.
Landfall, landfall, landfall. That's about the worst case scenario.
Millions of people are under voluntary or mandatory evacuation.
You can always repair property. You cannot restore a life.
A contractor working for the National Security Agency arrested for allegedly stealing highly classified information.
Do you think there are more Snowdens out there serving in the U.S. government?
I didn't think so until today.
Mike Pence did an incredible job, and I'm getting a lot of credit because that was my first hire.
Pence just bobbed and weaved because, after all, trying to defend Donald Trump is an impossible task.
A momentous occasion for the Obama White House. Enough countries signaled that they are for the landmark Paris Agreement.
This gives us the best possible shot to save the one planet we've got.
A plane evacuated because of a supposedly safer Samsung smartphone.
We got smoke in the cabin.
A spectacular launch.
Blue Origin successfully tested its crew escape system.
And touchdown.
All that.
Donald Trump spent part of World Teachers Day visiting a first grade class in Las Vegas.
Yes, we're working hard.
Great. Now Anna's family is going to be the first one over the wall.
And all that matters.
What was the biggest perk of being a kid at the White House?
Hide and go seek.
Hide and go seek.
Definitely hide and go seek, yeah.
This seems like the Secret Service's worst day. I would feel like, hey, just so you guys know, there's going to be 30 13-year-olds. They're hidden all over the place. Try not to be too skittish.
On CBS This Morning.
Everyone is saying that Mike Pence did well. Maybe too well.
Pence had such a solid debate performance last night.
Some people think that might not sit well with the boss.
Mike Pence did really well. Maybe he should have been at the top of the ticket.
You look at him, you think world leader, and did you see the size of his hands? I mean, they're massive. They're massive.
This morning's Eye Opener is presented.
One of O.J. Simpson's statements during his successful parole hearing yesterday is drawing a lot of criticism.
I've basically spent a conflict-free life.
You know, I'm not a guy that ever got into fights on the street and with the public and everybody. I'm not a guy who lived a criminal life. You know, I'm a pretty straight shooter.
Simpson will soon be released after 9 years of a 33-year sentence for armed robbery and kidnapping. It's been nearly 22 years since a jury found Simpson not guilty of murdering his ex-wife, Nicole Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman. The trial captivated the nation and left the victims' families feeling that they did not get justice. Later, Simpson was found liable for the 2 deaths in a multi-million-dollar civil suit. With us now, first on CBS This Morning, are Ron Goldman's father, Fred Goldman, and sister, Kim Goldman. She is the author of Can't Forgive, My 20-Year Battle with O.J. Simpson. The United States pizza restaurant industry cooked up $44 billion in sales last year, but Wall Street is focused on the nation's #2 chain. Since early 2010, the stock price of Domino's Pizza has soared from, listen to this, nearly $15 a share to about $197 today. Now, that is a 1,333% increase.
Domino's operates more than 14,000 stores worldwide. It delivers more than 1 million pizzas a day. The chain's busiest delivery day is New Year's Eve. Domino's president and CEO Patrick Doyle is credited with reinvigorating the brand. He joins us now. Welcome.
Thank you.
So
Pizza's been very, very good to you. It has been.
Breakthrough treatment to fight cancer has federal approval this morning. The FDA's support makes CAR-T the first approved gene therapy in the United States. It reprograms the body's own immune system to attack a deadly type of blood cancer. CAR-T was effective in clinical trials in 83% of children and young adults with leukemia.
12-year-old Emily Whitehead was the first pediatric patient to receive this therapy. 5 years ago, she was dying from cancer, but today she is cancer-free. Researchers hope that this type of therapy could one day be used against multiple diseases. Our Dr. David Agus has been following the testing and approval of the treatment. He leads the USC Westside Cancer Center and joins us from Los Angeles. David, good morning to you.
As we leave you, let's take a look back at all that mattered this week and have a great weekend.
We want to bring unity to the Republican Party. We have to bring unity.
The Republican Party is sharply divided over its presumptive nominee, Donald Trump.
I'm not sure that the Republican Party, as we now know it, is going to survive.
Like I said a couple months ago, I thought that the Republican Party would end up with more clarity sooner than the Democrat Party.
Democrats now know for certain who their Republican opponent will be.
What a historic moment. We've never seen a year like this. We've never seen a cycle like this.
Reince Priebus says the party will unite. How? When? Where?
Yeah, remember when they used to talk about Donald Trump as the bad boy with whom voters were having the summer fling? Well, now the wedding date is set.
Oh, you can feel the heat.
More than 1,000 firefighters and 100 aircraft are battling this blaze.
Oh my God.
This fire proved just how unpredictable it can be, heading south and north, devouring everything in its path.
A U.S. service member was killed in the latest fighting with ISIS.
This video appears to show part of the intense battle.
President Obama left Washington to make his first trip to Flint to address the city's water crisis.
I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
When we're not out shooting, we spend a lot of our time working here at this hotel, which we're not allowed to leave without a government guide.
The annual event, affectionately known as Nerd Prom.
If this material works well, I'm going to use it at Goldman Sachs next year.
It was the final performance by the president.
I thought the president was awesome.
I just have 2 more words to say. Obama out.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. The next president of the United States, Ted Cruz.
Carly Fiorina fell on stage.
Cruz didn't do anything. Even I would have helped her, okay?
A cringe-worthy moment for Ted Cruz. Ow! You know he felt bad about that. What's the name of this show? CBS This Morning.
Game of Thrones actor Kit Harington is apologizing to fans. Spoiler alert, he was brought back to life. Hallelujah!
You should put some music on.
This my like this. Times you've been around that track, so it's not just gonna be like that, 'cause I ain't no holler back girl.
Say it again, Tony.
CBS This Morning.
Bananas, beef,
You never think it's too much?
No. You know, when they used to always say that, you know, less is more, I was the one that originally said no, less is less, more is more.
CBSN starts now. Come on, I should be with you guys.
An early Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I love the dress that you have today, too. It looks like a piece of art. I'm talking about you, not the dress.
No, no.
I can step aside.
No, Josh, stay. Charlie likes to play.